Yo, yo. 4 minutes after the hour, it's 8:04, and this is Dontrell, Detroit, back in the building, and you are listening to the relationship game. Y'all already know what it is. Again, on Instagram, it's your boy B.O. Bobblehead25. Instagram, Dontrell Detroit. The rest will come up and whatnot. But again, if you want to take part in this conversation tonight and you want to call in, the number is 323-900-0478. Again, the number is 323-900-0478. And tonight, something came up in a group chat that I was in, and I felt like I should talk about it in a little different way. Obviously put, my spin on it and question everybody else out there that wasn't in the group chat about it. And I'm going to bring it to everybody else because we're having pretty candid conversation. And I mean, that's the best thing you can do, right? Candid conversation is the best thing that you can have. It's nothing like it. Don't get no better. And my phone is tripping. I'm trying to get to the people. But anyway, again, how was everybody's weekend and how was everybody's day and Sunday? My day was great. Honestly, if I think about it from beginning to end, I really can't complain. And what probably sealed the deal for me, my 49ers pulled it out, yo. There's like having a kid, and then there's like God. And then right up under that has to be the Niners winning anything, really. You know what I'm saying? And I guess because I'm a really deep 49er fan, it's like they win Super Bowl. If they win, it's like them winning Super Bowl to me, but it is what it is, But for the most part, I mean, I think everybody that I know that's a fan of anybody, I mean, minus the Raiders, as long as they are not fans of the Raiders, they won the day. But again, this is the relationship game, and again tonight, I bring you me, just me. I believe my co-host may still be vacationing out there in the waters of Jamaica. It's possible, but if not, hey, we miss you, and till we meet again. But again, so on today, and again, oh my bad, I can hear music. I have sound effects. I hear things that you don't hear. And if you want to be a part of that, because I like to set me a mood and play nice background music, because we be talking about some stuff, log in. You know what I'm saying? thegoodnewsradiostation.com. We have an app, so you can go to the Good News Radio Station, download the app, click listen live, or you can just go put it in your browser. You know what I'm saying? And you do what you do. So tonight, I did want to have a conversation about love languages, so to speak, in a way, but not in the traditional sense. So I'm in this group chat, and it's got to be one of the most candid group chats I'm in. And, they talking about everything under the sun. And usually, in my opinion, and why I got into this business, was to have candid conversations that most people couldn't have. And I love talking to people. I love people talking to me. And so reading everything that I've read thus far this week, I thought to myself, well, we know what the 5 love languages are, and we'll get that. We'll put that out there in just a second as well. But is there such thing, or can we create a such thing as the 5 sexual love languages? Let's think about that for a minute, right? There's 5 love languages, so my challenge to the people tonight is come up with 5 sexual love languages. Now, just like the love languages, these can be anything. It doesn't all have to be physical, but we're just talking about the things that get you to the physical, right? You know what I'm saying? The things that get you going. The things that, you know what, when you see, when you hear, when you feel, whatever it is, it just invokes like, you know what, I'm going to do the nasty. Kind of like that liquid courage, you know what I'm saying? You know how everybody get liquid courage in their system. And, you know, all of a sudden they, you know, the freakiest person in the world. That's what I would like to, that's what I want you to tell me tonight. So again, 323-900-0478. That's the call in. You can leave me a message if you're on Instagram. And I'll answer your question. Matter of fact, let me bring up my chat just in case anybody decides to hop in my chat box and do what it do. But again, I hope everybody had a good weekend out there. And so we'll start off with the regular 5 love, the regular love languages as they are defined. And the first one I'm gonna go to, although it's the second one because I'm doing something, is love languages, words of affirmation. All right, so words of affirmation, using words to build up the other person. Thanks for taking out the garbage. Not, it's about time you took out the garbage. You know, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that was the example of how to and how not to. The other way for words, the other number 2 for words of affirmation. And I'm sorry, I'm out here trying to multitask, and before y'all say that men can't, don't you do it? Because I'm out here getting it in. The second one for words of affirmation is acts or gifts. I'm sorry, it's gifts. A gift says he was thinking about you. Look at what he got me. Those are gifts. That's the love languages of gifts. Some of you mother suckers like to be given stuff, whether it's out of benevolence or whether it's just out of greed or selfishness. It's just give me something. A guy asked for advice the other day, and I don't know where I heard it. I don't know where I was when I heard it. But a guy asked a girl for advice the other day, and she was like, flowers. She was like, trust me. And she was like this hardcore girl. She was like, flowers, they really work. And so gifts. So number 3, acts of service. Doing something for your spouse or mate that you know you would like, that they would like. Cooking a meal, washing dishes, vacuuming floors. These are all acts of service. All right. Now, again, I'm reading you these love languages because we are going to tie these into Aphrodisiacs, and I want you to chime back into me and tell me what yours is, and just maybe I'll let you, you know, into my world, let you privy to me. Number 4, love language, quality time, by which I mean giving your spouse the undivided attention. Okay. And again, if you're listening, because you can't hear the music that I'm listening to because it's real some slow jam R&B, thegoodnewsradiostation.com, and you can hear all of this. But when you get to the podcast, you can listen to it then. Quality time, taking a walk together, sitting on the couch, TV on or off, depends on your thing, however you Netflixing and chilling, talking and listening. Quality time, you know, however you enjoy your QT. Love language, quality time. And for number 5, physical touch. Physical touch. Holding hands, hugging, kissing, sexual intercourse are all expressions of love. You know what I'm saying? Out of these 5, each has a primary love language, as you will have a primary love language. in the form in which we're going to tie it into very soon. And so what I'm hoping is that through this, not only do you give me some kinky information about yourself, but you find out more, or somebody listening to you that either hears you or reads your information, or you know what, even you yourself just putting some thought into it, you find out some ways that get you going. You know what I'm saying? Because I had this conversation, and because I know the person and it's public, I won't say her name, but you know, one of her sexual love languages, it was one of those things where when she told me, it just really caught me off guard. And it was like, that is what you into? You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, when people say that is what you into, it's usually like something like really grotesque or something that's like way, way out there. But this one's kind of like way, way in there. Weird, but simple. But when you see it happen, it's like, you really into that shit, ain't you? But anyway, you know, so, but no judgment here, you know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. So, again, so we're talking about sexual love languages. And so before I ask and give a tidbit on some of these sexual things that people like, may or may not like, and I have you chime in. What's up, Monty? Yeah, shout out to the homie Monty, best cameraman in the business. And shout out to the Keith and Maria Bella. I see you. We're talking about aphrodisiacs, right? So aphrodisiacs, do they really work? What is an aphrodisiac? So aphrodisiac, maca is the root. In its native region of Peru, maca has long been used to enhance fertility and increase sexual arousal and balance hormones. Now, ginseng is usually what was in an aphrodisiac, what they call, you know, when they extract the medicine in Chinese medicine, and it offers a fair share of aphrodisiac remedies, and is one of the key components. So to answer the question, do aphrodisiacs really work? Yes, they do. And so it was probably some flower they found, walked by, tasted, smoked, whatever, and they was like, oh shit, this shit makes me horny. Let's name it aphrodisiac. Whatever. So, my question today, right? I'm curious to know what people's 5 love languages are. But sexual 5 love languages. What's something that really turns you on where you like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck this girl tonight. Or I'm gonna go and fuck this nigga. He getting some. She getting some. You know what I'm saying? If you could dream this up, you know what I'm saying, as to whenever you wanted it to happen or go down, how they would provoke you, what is it that drives you crazy? Is it somebody touching your knees, rubbing your elbows, kissing the corner of your lips? Is it the forehead kiss? Is it good conversation? Is it a man that's into God? What is it? And so I'm hoping that you would either leave a message or call in 323-900-0478 and let me know what it is that turns you on. Is it food? You know, we have a lot of foodies out there. And, you know, we know how we feel about watermelons and oysters and asparagus and some people chili peppers and figs and strawberries and the gamut, you know, that there is. We ain't talking about the pills because, you know, it's kind of like cheating. Is it true? Do men really fuck better on a full stomach? Is that an aphrodisiac? But what are you into? You know what I'm saying? What are you into? Let's see if I can take a trip down memory lane. This song's way fast to me, and I don't like it. It's fucking up my zen. So, back in the day, I said I was in my 20s, and there was this period of time where I was just like, you know what, fuck bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck women. And you know, my best friend, shout out to Shawnee Black, he would always tell me, like, man, you got to have a lot more fucker in your system. And, you know, I'd always ask him, too, like, man, why shit always happen when I get mad? And blah, 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 blah. Oh, you know, why is it when a nigga get mad, I do something right, or shit just happens? He's like, well, you know, I just don't think you have enough fucker in your system. And nice guys genuinely do finish last. So if you're always nice, it's like not attracting what you want or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyway. But my life, I went through some turmoil with some women. And I'm like, you know what? Every bitch gonna get the dog in me. All right. So during that time, I had some of the wildest escapades. You know, I watched a lot of them too. You know, it just seemed like things literally, would fall into your lap, on your lap, in your lap, however you know what I'm saying, head, mouth, you know, whatever. And so one day I go to this girl's house, and she was like, you know, I really love your voice. And I was like, okay. And so she was like, I just want to have a conversation with you, right? And so I'm like, you know, fellas have been there where, like, you feel like, you know, I'm going to go hit. And although I didn't really care, you know what I'm saying, because it was like, whatever, she was cute. But I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking I'm coming over here to smash. And so when she said she just want to sit and have a conversation, I'm like, oh, whatever. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's good, it's cool. Good conversation never hurt nobody. And so we were sitting right next to each other. And she has on this soft skirt that's like laying on her. It's not like loose, it fit. It's kind of like if you could think what a teddy would look like, you know, below the hips. And I'm a thigh man, so like I was like staring at the shit, but it was like laying perfectly on the thighs. And so she's sitting right next to me, and like at the time, like every time she's talking to me, and she would like gently and subtly move her legs, and I'm just looking at this material laying on her thighs. I'm like, she needs to stop. So then she asked me to sit across from her on the room, and I was like, all right, whatever. It's weird. So I'm just thinking she on some like extra shit, but whatever. But the conversation actually was decent, and it was really good, so I wasn't really tripping. So if anybody knows me, if you ever got me into a good groove or a good conversation, sometimes I can talk too much. And so it's dark, it's late, so like I can barely see her, and the only thing I can really see is her legs, and I can barely see that because she was like this mahogany brown, and she was so moisturized that day. It just did everything. But anyway, long story short, as we're talking, and we're talking about some random shit, I want to say somehow photosynthesis was in this conversation. I noticed that when her responses were becoming few and far between, and when she did say something, it was like faint. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like with a whole bunch of conviction, and it was soft, and it was turning me on to the point where I was trying to make a move, but she didn't move me all the way over to the other couch. So as I tried to get up to go, she's like, no, stay there. I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah, all right, whatever. So we keep talking or whatever. So now in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm really done with this conversation, but I'm trying to figure out how to get from here to there, because I wanted to get between the thighs. And in the midst of the conversation, I could hear her just go, whew. Then she gets up, grabs my hand, we go to the room, and then she says, do whatever you want to me, I'm done. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And she's like, I love a good deep voice. She was like, and then she used the analogy, she was like, you ever just want to dance by yourself? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that happens at the time. At the time, I was 20 something. I'm like, yeah, because some girls can't dance. And she's like, yeah, like I love to masturbate to the sound of a man's voice if it's deep enough. And I'm like, so that's what you was over there doing? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, damn, you couldn't let me watch? She was like, you were watching. She was like, you were, telling the story. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I was talking about some bullshit. But she was like, nah, didn't matter. Your voice was going. And it got me where I needed to be. And she was like, now you get to do whatever you want to me, and I'll do whatever you want. And I'm like, oh, word? Why? And she was like, because while you was talking, you was doing whatever I wanted you to do in my mind. So again, hearing voices or listening to a voice was one of her aphrodisiacs. Again, 323-900-0478. Again, 323-900-0478. And we are talking about sexual love languages. So if I can try to come up with some based on the words of affirmation and the gifts and the acts of service and the quality time and physical touch. Physical touch is probably a little easier, you know what I'm saying? But we're still going to go there anyway, just like you want them to. So words of affirmation. I think words of affirmation work for the majority of women as it pertains to a sexual thing. However, I think if they're doing it right, it's a huge play for women. Not only is it a huge play for women to turn a man on, but words of affirmation, if in fact you really do affirm the words by meaning I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do when we do it, because I don't know if anybody else out there has ever tried to plan sex and that shit never happens. I swear to God, anytime I'm gonna be like, oh yes, I'm feeling you looking good in that shit. When we get home, we gonna fuck, and then I think I'm like owing everything when I try to plan sex. I promise. Like, it just, anytime it even come out my mouth, or my mouth or her mouth, I'll be like, fuck, that shit ain't gonna happen. But ladies, if you can talk a good game and you can follow through with it, as in say, like, hit him up and what you doing tonight, and you let it be known what you want, and you get to talking that freaky shit, and you follow through with it. Not only is that a great way to have a great sex life, that is a great way to keep a man. And so the other thing that I want to do with these words of affirmation, these sexual love languages, as it pertains to relationship, because this is the relationship game. I also want to let people know how important it is to speak these love languages, because a lot of times we thinking that we are and we actually aren't. A lot of people, especially women, and I'm listening to these ladies in a group chat, and some ladies really don't understand how far they missed the mark. Some ladies don't understand how fickle men are. Like, you do this and like, I'm cool on you. And most of the time it comes when women think of whomever they're with as just like a Neanderthal, just a buff guy, just a pretty face, just somebody to secure the bag for them to provide security. But a lot of ladies miss the mark on this. So I would ask this question to most women, right? Because all women say they got good pussy. Like, if you in this group chat and you a girl and you think you got good pussy, wave. You know what I'm saying? But from how I understand it and how I've crossed women, all women think, I have not met one woman that said, oh, my shit cool. You know what I'm saying? Every girl that I met, I said they got fire vagina. Cool. So if you have fire vagina, if everybody has fire vagina, right? What is your vagina, or what is your sex doing to speak differently to him? Because if he ain't no virgin and she had fire vagina, and the next girl gonna have fire vagina, quote unquote, what love language, what physical sexual love language are you bringing to the table to make yourself different and set yourself apart? Is it words of affirmation? Do you talk that shit? Is your talking game when you in the bed so much better than everybody else's that this nigga just can't go nowhere else? Is it gifts? You know what I'm saying? Are you bringing home so many sex toys? Not just for you either, ladies. Because I know all the homies. Niggas will buy a sex toy for a girl in a minute. Excuse me. They'll buy a sex toy for a girl in a minute. But ladies never really buy sex toys for men. You know what I'm saying? You guys are so complicated to please and super sexual and extra kinky and very nasty. So it's like, we get it. But a nigga get a toy and he's a pervert all of a sudden. But anyway, so yeah. Is it acts of service? You know what I'm saying? Are you doing something for him that's making him so horny that he just has to fuck you? Did you buy this nigga a back brace? You know what I'm saying? Are you initiating sex the majority of time or all the time? Do you like to get on top? Do you let him lay there? What is it? Is it quality time? Are you always there when he calls you? Do you give him enough space so that he can call you? And when you guys do spend quality time, is it actually time spent in quality? And is it physical touch? Is your body so dynamic? Not your physical body, but the chemistry between your body so dynamic that it sets you apart, that makes you different. Because everybody got fire pussy. See, at least niggas temper this shit. They know, because niggas, they see y'all toys. They know you can either. We have no clue whether you over there using the 14-inch Italian stallion horse that you know what I'm saying, that they got up on the wall that they using to stop the door and shit. We don't know. So we know, like, you know what? We ain't even trying to be the best. We just come in to try to get you from point A to point B, and we good. I'm good enough to do that. That's how we feel. But every girl feels like they have fire vagina. So ladies, what sets you apart? Because I guarantee you the majority of women actually miss the mark. And the majority of women that do make the mark don't know that they are. Well, don't know why they are. They just cut from that cloth. And shit just happens to work out. You know? Speaking the same love language in any capacity is very important. And as I mentioned before, a habit that we have as people when it comes to love languages is we project what we want for somebody else onto them. So we know our best love language because that's how we operate. We come from that stratosphere and we lead with that, which is cool because the first rule of thumb is know thyself. And in a relationship, I think the second rule is that they should know thyself. Like, they need to know you. So if you're a gifts person, if you're a words of affirmation person, they need to know that. But so many times, especially with women, when it comes to words of affirmation, like, men care to an extent, but there's so many women are like the Bible. Like, there's tons of contradiction in them. So we just be like, you know what? Unlike the Bible, we're going to walk by sight and not by faith. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, because, like, I know what you're telling me, and I want to put my faith in that, but the shit that you're doing is contradicting that, so I can't. So eventually, words of affirmation fall through. But a lot of women feel like they can talk you into love because a lot of talking in words resonate with women because words matter to them. Don't get me wrong, action matters to women too. But we know what it means, you know, for a male to sit down, or a partner to sit down, take his time, tell you how they feel, reiterate how they feel, and everything that's coming out of your partner's mouth is about you in such a glorifying way, even if it's negative or just in a caring way, that you can't help but feel love. However, not all, but most men don't operate like that. Most men judge you based on what you show them. The very nature of a man is the bottom line. So you can talk and say everything that you're going to do, how much you love and whatever. But if the bottom line don't add up to him based on his eyes, what he sees or supposed to see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the gift, the act of service, the quality of time. He just sees what you do and what you don't do. Period. So, for me, let's just say hypothetically, well, not even hypothetically, I had a girl who hated sports, right? And we were having trouble connecting. And it's because I felt in the beginning I tried and it wasn't working, and I was probably missing the mark, right? Because I didn't know her love language. So I'm trying everything but the right thing, right? And then I guess I ended up finding out what it was, and it was cool, and then she was happy. But by that time, now I'm not happy. And so now everything that I love you for, or I like you for, or that I look past you for, now agitates me, right? The same thing that'll make you laugh will make you cry. But at the time, I only had what would make me cry. I couldn't even get to the laugh part because some of the stuff in the beginning I was just kind of bypassing. And then so one day, and this was the year that Reggie Bush left for the draft, and everybody expected Reggie Bush to be drafted number 1. And I walk in from work, and she's like, "Well," she calls me before I even get there. She's like, I know you told me not to tell you, but I just got to tell you, like, Reggie Bush went number 2. Aren't you so happy?" Like, well, technically, yeah, because he went to the Saints, but that nigga didn't go number 2. Everybody wanted that nigga number 1. And I just thought she was like, she didn't know sports, so I just like she was foolish. Like, she literally would pick winners based on the aesthetics of the team, like how well the team's coordinated with their colors. Literally, that's how she picked the winners of a football game. I guess there was some merit to it. I'm sorry, that made me laugh. Because she would actually pick the right winners. So I get home, and then I turn on ESPN, and lo and behold, Reggie Bush has been drafted number 2. I instantly fall back in love with her because I know how much she hates sports. And I know how long she had been sitting there waiting for the draft, trying for that to come on. Anybody who's ever seen the draft, that shit takes a long time back, especially back in the day. So then from that point on, we had great sex that night, and then she then let me watch ESPN unimpeded. Or if I be at work, I would call about what you doing. She'd be like, "Oh, watching ESPN." Like, "You just turned that?" "Nah, you left it on, but you know what I'm saying, I'm just, learning a little bit more." And the effort in that alone, I think, made me fall deeper than I could have ever fallen. Not that I didn't enjoy a gift, not that I didn't enjoy a good word, you know what I'm saying, or our quality time. But my love language is a sport. My love language is sports. I mean, outside of, Lord, I don't know, but, sports runs everything around me in one way or another. Outside of music and probably actual sex, sports, is the domineering tier. And so, what's your love language that you're speaking for your mate? Are you speaking the proper love language? Or are you omitting your love language in such a good way that you're such a loving person? Because again, I believe I can sell water to a whale and salt to a slug. And so if I actually am that convincing, right, then I could make somebody fall for me by my logic and my thought, my wit. That can cross somebody as impressive. And that could get me through the first 2-3 years. Maybe. Not anymore. Because everything is exponentially fast now because of the internet. Back in the day, that you could drag that out for some years. But when it comes to sustainable love, there has to be some reciprocation, because I eventually need to speak her language. Because I've always said, this life, no matter what you do, no matter what you believe in, no matter who you are, if you have breath, is about feelings. Period. People are broke and are laughing and full with glee and smile, homeless, and you couldn't tell. And there are people that are rich, that are committing suicide, that hate their lives, and just wish they could give it all back. That contradiction, enigma, paradox, whatever you want to call it, in it of itself is the truth. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is about feelings. Because a lot of us place a high commodity and a high value on money. But a lot of people that have money have committed suicide, or have recklessly treated their life with reckless abandon because they had money and felt invincible. But they felt invincible. They felt pity. They felt depressed. Or the broke person felt happy. You know what I'm saying? Life is about perspective, right? And if life is about perspective, how you look and feel about this glass that is half full is everything, and dictates how you move forward. Period. So if I make you fall for me by hook or crook, but I never pour back into you in the way that you need to, then eventually this is going to become empty. You're going to realize you didn't get what you need. Case in point, since we're talking about sex to a certain extent, everything lines up well. You know, they got if you're a girl, they got the nice smile, the nice abs, the chest, the shape, all that, whatever, and whatever it is you like downstairs, down south that you into. Big, small, long, thick, wig, and indifferent, whatever it is you into, they got it. And then it happens. It's going. And it's great. And I mean, it's great. I mean, the foreplay was good, and you know, he's good with the hands, he's good with the conversation, he's tantalizing, you know what I'm saying? He's deliberate, he's aggressive with caution, you know what I'm saying, and within reason. And you just loving everything that this man is doing to you. Then he comes. After, if you needed an hour, 2 hours, whatever you needed, he gave you, and then he came. But then you like, all right. Then you had another session. Great again. He comes. You don't. Great again. He comes. You don't. Now, while this is good enough, and there are aspects about this great, if you need a nut and you're not getting it, everything else at that point becomes irrelevant. Because I guarantee you, if you had a dude who didn't have all of that, who was the worst possible looking dude, who didn't really know how to put it together, but he knew somehow how to make you come, you would end up back in his bed. Same thing with a guy. She can be stacked. She can have the smile. She can have the butt, the breast, the small waist, the thighs. You know what I'm saying? The pretty feet, pretty hands. You know what I'm saying? She could be sensual. But if I'm not coming, or it's always a constant struggle to come, then you aren't speaking my love language, and you don't. Well, it's not even not speaking my love language. That's not true. But at the end, because it's about bottom line and about feelings, that means you're not giving me what I need. And everything else, all the ancillary things are good and it's cool to have. But at the bottom, when it comes to a bottom line, I need what I need. So this life is about feelings. 333-900-0478. We're talking about love language and how they correlate with Aphrodisiacs. if you're out there, Instagram, hit me up. Let me know what it is you into. Sex is very important. Or is it? And to me, I think it's the most primal thing we have and one of the most important things that we do. And a lot of people will try to downplay sex. And I've been there, done that. And given the right circumstances, I'm on that boat too. But sex for me can always bring me back from any place. And honestly, I remember when my grandmother died, I immediately went and had sex. And it was some of the best sex that I had ever had. But I was so emotionally invested and I was so present and just that because I needed to get away. But for a lot of us, sex is that. And so if sex is such a vast thing, if everybody needs sex, wants it, my question to a girl, because women love kinky sex, right? Women love sex, right? Women are very sexual in nature, and they'll tell you that. No one will deny. You know what I'm saying? Most women will tell you that they think about sex far more than you do in the week, probably in a given day. Men have a pretty good idea of what a freaky woman looks like. But I'm curious to know. Somebody was at my door, I thought. But I'm curious to know, what exactly does a freaky male look like? Because there were, in our group chat, right? If I said, like, you know what? I don't want to be that deep in your vagina, or I don't want to go in that little 2 inches, whoever the G-spot is for the vagina. I'm not going in there. I don't want to touch that. You know what I'm saying? I know I can manipulate it with it and make you come every time. You know what I'm saying? So if the G-spot for a man was his neck, you know what I'm saying? But seeing how the G-spot for a man is somewhere else, and that's forbidden for the majority of the world, or for a lot of people, what is it that a man can do that makes it freaky for y'all? You know what I'm saying? Not for y'all, but in the eyes of y'all. That's away from the G-spot. So if we remove where that's located and dealing with that area in its entirety, I would like to know what it looks like, or what determines a man being kinky or freaky. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been with women that wanted their ass beat, and that shit really turned them on. I've been with women that liked watching themselves get fucked by multiple men or women, like watching their partner have sex with men or women. Like the amount of things that women are into, you know what I'm saying? I had this one girl that she was just like, well, first off, there's just like, I sweat a lot, right? And so when that shit doesn't bother a girl, like, that shit turns me the hell on. Like, girl, you nasty than a mother. And it was this one girl, she would just take her time and just be licking the hell out of my face. And I was like, oh, you nasty. And to this day, I don't trust women with glasses. If you wear any type of glasses, I think you're nasty. I don't care if they're shades. I don't care if they're clear. If you have them on for half the day or, 3 times out of the week, you're nasty. Don't trust them. But, ladies, what is it that a man can do to be freaky for you? What is it that you like? You know what I'm saying? What does the aggression look like? Because if nice people finish last, and we know that you don't want a nice guy, you want somebody to take control, is that it? Is that what this looks like? Is it the control that turns you on? Is it that look in his eye that turns you on? What makes him nasty to you in your mind? Is it sucking feet? Is it licking in their thighs? Is it putting fingers in your mouth, shutting you the fuck up while he kisses your neck? Is it licking you everywhere and anywhere? Tell me what it is for you, because I'm curious. Because I would like to consistently be freaky for every woman that I cross, if possible. But I need the cheat code. But again, we're talking about love languages, aphrodisiacs, sexual aphrodisiacs. 323-900-0478. And I will be getting out of here in a little bit. Not too long. I got this crazy music in the background going on. It reminds me of like some Robin Thicke type joint. I'm not really sure of. But Ebony, shout out to you. Now, Ebony's a saint. Greatest teen mom ever that I've ever had witnessed. So shout out to you. My son loves her. Again, go Niners. Any girl that loves the 49ers is automatically freaky too. I'm just here to say, put that out there. So let's see. So I told the story the other day, and it freaked somebody out. But since we talking about sex, spontaneity, right? A lot of women love spontaneity, and this particular girl, now granted, I had nothing to do with this except for what I had to do with it, but I wasn't aware that I was being put in a situation. And years ago, I want to say I was in my teens, could have been my 20s, but it was early. And I was dealing with a girl. Porn was kind of new for her at the time, and she could, she's watching whatever she wants. And she told me, like, look, I really want to have sex. I've been watching porn. I'm ready. I want you. Cool. So we do it, whatever. And it was cool. It was good. Well, I'm sorry, it was good. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So we sessioning and whatever, and we're in the shower. And she had always wanted to have sex in the shower because she had seen it in the pornos that she had been watching. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, but at the time, I'm not really aroused because we was kissing, and then I was kind of semi-aroused, so I thought we was going to go right into it. But then she started talking. Didn't happen right away. And I initially meant to go to the bathroom before I hopped in the shower. I had to pee. And so she has the sliding glass door, and I'm like, let me out, so I'm going to go pee real quick. She's like, nah, just do it right in the shower. I was like, what? She was like, just do it in the shower. She was like, look, my brother said he do it all the time. You sure? Yeah. All right. And so I'm like, look away. You know what I'm saying? She's like, nigga, you look away. She's like, look up. Whatever make you feeling better. So I'm like, all right, cool, look up. So if you ever done that, or if you ever heard rain hit the ground or pee hit the ground, it has a certain cadence, and it, it's rapid. It's hitting the ground. And that's what it sounded like. Until it didn't. And I couldn't figure out why it didn't until I looked down, and it was because, well, she had slid under there. Now, when I asked, what in the world will possess you to make you do such a thing? She said that is actually the porn that she watches that turns her on the most. Now, at the time, probably because I was young, it weirded me out more than what it should have. But over the course of my life, I've had more than 6 or 7 people ask me or tell me that that's what they were into. You know what I'm saying? I've read it in journals. It's crazy. So, again, you know what I'm saying? Women have no limits, no bounds, and aren't tied to any sexual regulation how men are. And so, again, just curious as to what makes a man freaky to you and what's your love language. And so, granted, we haven't had a lot of people call in or message at the time. Actually, we did, but I forgot to check it. But I do hope that you were able to think about some things that gets you going, and if nothing else, think about whether or not you are sending out what you love or what they love. because they got you. And if they got you, you need to have them. You know, most of us are selfish in love anyway, as we should be. But then again, that's only when we loving ourselves and got ourselves to care for. If we're going to bring another party into the situation, then most definitely we should take time to figure out what they like, what they need, what they love. Be about them. Let them know that you're there. I tell people all the time that I was trying to get at this girl and she was busy planning a Coco Chanel wedding, and I just had to go on a date with her, and so I learned everything I could about Coco Chanel. And from there, conversation soared. But that was the only way that I could get in, because that's where her focus was at the time. But before that, you know, I was guilty of everything else that everybody else is guilty of, which is talking about the run-of-the-mill stuff. And much like any language that we got to speak, you got to understand what's being said to you. And if ears is closed, you might as well stop talking, because it's a foreign language at that point. So, where is your sexual G-spot? Is it your neck? Your love language? Is it what's between the ears? Is it how he looks, how she dresses? What is it? Is it how they move? Is it their cologne or their perfume? Is it them being into religion? What attracts you? I guess a little deeper question is, what do you think that you give out? What's your love language that you're giving off? Again, I know I'm a freak. On the weekend, so my time is about to end because it's Sunday. So Monday, I'm going to go back to being the good guy. But when nightfall takes over the city, most of us lose our goddamn mind. And nasty is all we can think about. And it's therapeutic. So I think any chance that you get a chance to be nasty, you should go ahead and be nasty. Be kinky, have sex. Do you. Have fun. Do what you do. Just watch my shoes.
You are now listening to Good News Radio.
Oh, great. But anyway, I am Don Trill Detroit, and it's been great to be in the building. You know, I get to come and talk to y'all about nasty stuff all week, and it's very delightful. And so, if it's something that you ever want to talk about, because here at the Relationship Game, that's what we talk about, relationship shit. But we also talk about life stuff. If it's a business that you want to plateau or get out there and have our audience be aware of what you got going on, you could always come in. You could always shoot me a message. But I welcome people to come in and have a conversation with me. Sit across at this desk at the radio station and had a conversation, because it's somebody out there that thinks just like you, looks like you, feels like you, emotional just like you, and they feel like they're all alone. And more importantly, I learned through doing this radio show that women are women. You know, I'm going to tell you, ladies, men, especially through sex, but in love, men think y'all out to get them. We do. I'm a firm believer in it. But women are women. So y'all all out to get us. It ain't just one, it's all y'all. Nah, it's just fucking. But, dead ass, I was mad at one girl about something. I just thought she was lying, making up shit. And I heard that with my boy in a separate conversation, but his response wasn't like mine. He was like, "Oh, nigga, that happens. It's a girl thing." And immediately it made me change my purview or my outlook on women because it was personal to me. And so the other thing about not speaking our love language is a lack of communication gets us nowhere. And if we don't communicate, we don't get what we want. And when we don't get what we want, we start assuming, we get spoiled, we upset. You know what I'm saying? And so it's been real, y'all. And I'm glad I've been able to be here and share these words with you and be a part of your night. The 49ers won again. Shout out to the Niners. Hopefully we make it to the Super Bowl, and then if we make it, we will win. Guaranteed. That's a promise. Hopefully you get laid tonight, whoever you are. If you're a lady, I hope you go suck the best dick. I think all the women tonight should just go and just ask, you know what? I want to do a gift of service to you. You know what I'm saying? Use your words of affirmation. Say, I want to suck your dick. Tell them it's a gift. Tell them it's a part of your quality time. Because it's already in the physical contact. And just say, you know what? You ain't got to worry about me today. I just want to give you head. And they're going to probably say, cool, but I want to please you too. Some of them will. Some of them going to take that shit and run that shit. But go suck the best dick of your life. Be great. Fellas, give her the best dick of your life. More importantly, give her the best foreplay of your life. Admire her body. Take your time. Let her know she feels beautiful. Let her know she's beautiful, and then make her feel beautiful. My goal during sex is to make sure she feels like a woman. And in my view, in my opinion, a woman feels very sexy. And I just think you do that, that's half the battle. But again, I am Dontrell Detroit, and I'm glad to be back in the building. Until next time, Sundays at 8. Tomorrow, next week, we probably talk about some more horny shit or whatever's going on in this world. But love y'all. Shout out to the rest of the Good News radio station. Shout out to the boss man, Keith, Jackie, Mark, everybody. Good News Sports. We out. Yeah.